The rain poured relentlessly, soaking the quiet suburban street. Inside a small, dimly lit apartment, Tom, a 35-year-old single dad, wiped sweat and exhaustion from his brow. He had spent 12 hours at a construction site, just to make enough money to pay the rent. Bills stacked on the kitchen table stared back at him, a silent reminder that every month was a struggle. He felt like he was barely keeping life together for himself and his 7-year-old daughter, Lily. Then came a knock at the door. Tom opened it to find a young woman standing there, drenched, clutching her growing belly. Her eyes were wide and frightened, and her clothes were worn and soaked. "Can I rent a room?" she asked, her voice barely audible over the rain. Tom hesitated. He didn't have much to offer, yet something in her gaze stirred a protective instinct. "Yeah, come in," he said softly, stepping aside. That single act of kindness would change all of their lives. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to your channel name for more heartwarming stories about hope and humanity. Give this video a like and comment below if you've ever witnessed a small act of kindness change someone's life. The woman, whose name was Emily, moved into the small spare room in Tom's apartment. She didn't talk much about her past, only that she needed somewhere safe to stay. At first, Tom worried about space and money, but Emily was quiet, tidy, and grateful. Lily, curious and full of life, was instantly drawn to her. Emily's gentle presence brought a warmth into the apartment that had been missing for so long. Tom had no idea that Emily's life before arriving at his doorstep was worlds apart from his. She was a runaway, a 22-year-old heiress trying to escape the pressures of a wealthy family she never felt she belonged to. Pregnant and alone, she was searching for a place where she could be just Emily, not a title or a responsibility she never asked for. And in Tom's small apartment, she found that place. Days turned into weeks. Tom noticed small, thoughtful gestures from Emily. She always cleaned up after herself, helped around the apartment, and often made sure Lily had a snack or a story before bedtime. In return, Tom and Lily made her feel part of their little family. They laughed over dinner, shared stories, and slowly, a bond formed that none of them could have expected. One evening, after a long day at work, Tom returned to find Emily sitting quietly in the living room, cradling her belly. "You don't have to do this alone," he said softly. Emily looked up, tears in her eyes. "I know, but it's scary," she admitted. "Thank you for letting me stay here. You've already given me so much." Tom didn't think much of it, but her words stayed with him. The apartment, once filled with bills and worries, became a place of hope. Emily's presence was a constant reminder that even in the darkest times, kindness could flourish. She shared small moments with Lily, teaching her new games, reading bedtime stories, and even helping with schoolwork. For Lily, Emily became more than a stranger. She became a friend, a role model, someone who showed her the power of compassion. Then came the day Emily went into labor. Tom rushed her to the hospital, heart pounding, hands shaking as he tried to keep calm. Nurses moved quickly, and within hours, a baby girl was born. Tom held Emily's hand throughout, whispering words of encouragement. When the baby cried for the first time, a sound so small yet so powerful, Tom felt a mix of relief and awe. Emily, exhausted but glowing, held her daughter close, tears streaming down her cheeks. After the birth, Emily shared her story with Tom. She told him about her life of wealth, the pressures from her family, and why she had run away. She had no intention of returning. Tom listened silently, never judging, never questioning her choices. For him, none of that mattered. What mattered was the human being in front of him, the person who had trusted him when she had nowhere else to go. Over the following weeks, Emily slowly adapted to life with the baby. Tom helped in every way he could, and Lily took on the role of doting big sister. Their home, small and humble, was filled with laughter, love, and the quiet power of everyday kindness. Neighbors and friends began to notice the change. The apartment that once seemed ordinary now radiated warmth, a testament to what happens when people care for each other without expectation. Emily also found ways to provide for herself quietly, using some savings she had hidden before fleeing her family's wealth. She never flaunted it, and she never expected gratitude. For her, the biggest reward was knowing her baby and herself were safe, and that she had found genuine human connection in a place she least expected. Months later, Emily's daughter began to take her first steps. Tom, Emily, and Lily watched with wide smiles and proud hearts. The small apartment had become a true home, not because of furniture or space, but because of the love and care shared within its walls. Emily, once a stranger, had become family. Tom, once struggling to make ends meet, had discovered a deeper purpose in simply helping someone in need. This story isn't just about Emily and Tom. It's about how kindness, no matter how small, can change lives. Renting a room, offering a smile, sharing a meal, these simple acts create ripples that touch more people than we realize. Emily's trust, Tom's generosity, and Lily's innocence together formed a chain of compassion that made all of them stronger, braver, and happier than they had been before. The lesson is simple: kindness costs little, but its impact is immeasurable. When we take a moment to help someone, to offer compassion without expecting anything in return, we open doors to hope, love, and connection. Tom's decision to let Emily stay was more than generosity. It was an act that changed the course of 3 lives forever. In a world that often seems harsh and indifferent, we can choose to be the reason someone believes in goodness again. A warm word, a helping hand, a safe space, it doesn't take much, but it can mean everything. So, remember Tom and Emily, remember Lily and the newborn, and let their story remind you that kindness is a power we all carry. Because when we act with compassion, we don't just help others, we create a legacy of love that continues far beyond the moment. And that, perhaps, is the most beautiful gift any of us can give.